Folks, hello and welcome to which one is this one? Oh yeah, the random party generator. I'm sorry.
Mm,
I'm wearing that drunk shirt, but I'm not the drunk in the room at the moment. At the moment, we
yeah.
got somebody else playing that role.
Rob is the drunk in the room. Rob is the drunk in the
And
room,
if
everybody.
you believe
In your
that, I
dreams.
have a bridge to sell you.
In Brooklyn or Queens?
Either one. You can have the Edward J. Koch Memorial Bridge, or the Brooklyn Bridge. We got a bunch
you
of
know,
bridges we can sell you.
I like that Crotch. He was a good mayor, actually. He was true New York. He was the last true New York City mayor you guys have ever had.
He was
You
a
know,
chameleon. He was a chameleon.
I
Ed
mean, he
Koch,
he he managed to convince everybody he wasn't gay for 50 years of public life. So good for fucking him. You know?
not gay. And listen, he was a Jew for the Jews, a Catholic
Yeah,
for the Catholics,
yeah,
black for the
yeah.
blacks,
Hmm.
Hispanic for the Hispanics. He could be whatever he needed to be
Yeah,
as long as he got your vote.
yeah. That's all
Give
that
me
mattered.
give
And
me your vote
mhm.
and I will be you.
And he came through for people too. And he
He
was
did.
true New York City fucking attitude. He really was. That guy was ballsy. You know what I mean? He said whatever the hell he thought. Ironically, he had balls. He said what he thought, and he was in the closet because it was 1970 fucking six or something, right? So he had to be.
Right.
But I like that guy. I saw a documentary about him and his life and all that stuff. He was like, I like this guy even more now. I just remember when I was a kid, right? Hearing him talk on the TV and the radio and shit. I'm like, this is cool.
I'm I'm Ed Koch and I'm your mayor.
Yeah. Anyway, nobody else knows what we're talking about. Whoever is in the tri-state area. So
I remember
Rob's
it.
like, can we talk now about shit
No,
that
I
matters?
remember Mayor Cock.
We called the mayor
Oh,
Crotch when I was a kid, but yeah, he was a good guy. He was a
why did
good
they
guy.
have a crotch for mayor? Because it's New York.
That's New York, of course.
Yes,
Yep.
check your email, Vicky. Check your
Yes,
email.
the fantasy sandbox is away. I got
Yep,
my
it's
email.
right there, guys.
Yep. Oh, pull it up, Rob. First Rob reach around coming up, boys and girls. There you go. There you
There you
go.
go.
Also, people may not be aware of this, but I included in the PDF file scans of the original map.
Uh-huh.
I figured out that my printer has a larger scanner and a better quality scanner than the one I originally used. So I managed to scan a high quality.
Very
Nice.
nice.
The,
Very
the
nice.
island is like somewhere. Whoops.
Hold on, Rob. I'm gonna give you a solo layout for a
Yeah.
moment.
Okay, the island is the island is right about somewhere in there.
You're right. Zwickie's thing is right next over your island, Rob.
All right,
Zwicky
hold
is
on.
causing a blackout to your island, apparently.
Okay,
Pull it,
David,
it's somewhere in the Midland Sea. So.
somewhere there. Yeah.
And in addition to this, I scanned the continent map. Which is not in the same style.
okay.
Those are 30-mile hexes. So interesting fact that this area right here, I looked at Oriental Adventures and they described the
Yes,
geography.
Rob, you can't say that word no more. I don't want to get you canceled, buddy. I'm going to protect your ass from getting canceled. You can't say
East
the O word.
Asian, East
You can't
Asian
say the O word,
adventures.
Rob. It's illegal.
Okay, Joe.
I stumped Rob. I was like, fuck, am I getting canceled?
No, I'm just waiting for you to finish. So
I'm done. Go ahead. Continue.
So, anyway, I took the description of Karator in the book. They didn't have a map then. This was before the Forgotten Realms box set, and so I drew it up as that area, and then
Nice.
So backwards, and it said, if they wanted to print it out, I already had one guy ask me if it was okay to print out, and I said, sure. I put it under Creative Commons. Yeah, this book, not this book, but this book is under Creative Commons.
Nice.
See now, I found my emails. but I didn't realize that I got excited because I said, "Oh, look, my Fantasy Sandbox email," and I go and I place my order for the physical copy.
Mhm.
And then I go, "Oh, wait a second, I got another email. Oh, Island of Parday or Paraday or
Or as
like,
Greg calls it,
son of a
Gatorade.
bitch! Now I got to pay more shipping." If I don't put it together, it would have been like $4.50 shipping for the two probably. But no, I gotta pay. I gotta pay
More
more
money.
shipping.
I did warn you in the email with one of
Scam.
Rob, do I read it? I'm lucky I went back and went, oh my God, I got emails I got to
Yeah.
take care of.
Yeah, Eric backs 3,000 Kickstarters a fucking month. So I mean, there's no way he's.
Whoa,
Is Rach back there listening to how many backs? She's not. You're safe. She's not hearing us. Shh.
She just grunted.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the nice perfume you can get. She's like, I can go 3,000 per.
I gotta hit them all tomorrow.
Help
Eric,
me. Help
you
me,
notice-
sir. Help
Eric,
me.
did you notice that if I post a comment, now that you've linked me as an admin or whatever the hell, you see that? Yeah, I post a comment in our little, whatever the hell you call it, StreamYard thing there, and it goes out as me on my channel and you on your channel. So every once in a while, guys, like I'm gonna say, hi, buttheads, and that's gonna show up as Eric and his channel.
Right.
and me and my channel. It's kind of a weird
so,
thing.
So long as I'm willing to take a hit, I can embarrass Joe and say things like "I suck balls."
That's
and
but look, type something, Eric. Let's see what it says, man.
I did. I suck balls.
I suck balls. How did it come up in my channel? It comes up as me and my channel. So yeah, this is a what did they call it back in the 80s? Mutual assured destruction, right?
Oh yes. Yeah.
So yeah. If we start talking shit to each other, it's like so we're beating each other up, beating ourselves up. yeah.
I better not do that. It's dangerous.
Hilarity ensues, exactly. Oh, and it looks like I triggered who did I trigger up there? With the not the ball sucking, but Mr. Gunn. The Culture Revolution is what you get when wokeism runs amok.
Yeah. Well, so I saw on Facebook today that somebody got the blurb for the D&D. They basically, their distributor reached out to them and say, hey, or their wholesaler, hey, you want to sell this at your shop? The D&D 50th anniversary book. And would you like to guess what's in that book?
5e.
No, there's no 5. I'd give you a there's no 5e. Hold on, let me see if I can. I took a screenshot of it, I thought, but let's see. Let me see. Oh yeah, I did. All right, I'm gonna put a screenshot up real quickly because I'm gonna do a show and tell, but I did my show and tell with screenshots. And I don't.
Well,
there's a disclaimer.
There's a blurb. Can you make it bigger, Eric? That's what she said. But there you go. Oh, it's not. It's still limited to the screen size, huh?
Well, yeah. So I can go back and forth with you, but otherwise, it is what it is. Actually, hold on.
Oh, the whole. They're trying to say that wholesale. Somebody downloaded the public document and is trying to sell this.
This is what they are. When you want to order at wholesale, this is their pitch, and their pitch includes the disclaimer. Do you see the disclaimer on that page?
Oh, so this is official. This isn't.
No,
this isn't some pirate thing.
No. This is. Hey, do you want to sell this in your store? You can pre-order this.
Yeah.
Here's the sales pitch.
Scroll down, Eric.
Here's the blurb, the description, followed by a disclaimer, which is longer than the description of what you're buying.
Yeah. Can you scroll down? I see the one paragraph description, but what's the disclaimer? We wizards recognize that some of the legacy content in this product does not reflect the values of the Dungeons and Dragons franchise today. It's a franchise, huh? Some older content may reflect ethnic, racial, and gender prejudices that were commonplace in American society at that time. These depictions were wrong then and are wrong today. This content is presented, this is why you can't say the O word, Rob. This content is presented as it was originally created, because to do otherwise would be the same as claiming these prejudices never exist. That's a hell of a thing. This content is
We're on
presented.
sentences. It's like they're fucking German. But
Yeah, it's a weird thing. This is a strange thing. This content is presented as it was originally created, because to do otherwise would be the same as claiming these prejudices never existed. So they found a way around woke. Wow. Dungeons and Dragons teaches that diversity is a strength, and we strive, because we all want a balanced group, and we strive to make our D&D products as welcoming and inclusive as possible. This part of our work will never end. Wow, it is longer than the fucking description.
Yeah. So I came across that today, and I just did a double tip. But now, did you see the video where they were pitching this book from a guy who had nothing to do?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And about how it was all evil people that put this book, wrote the initial material.
Mm-hmm.
And so
yeah,
I'm not surprised by the disclaimer. I guess.
By this evil book from evil people from an evil time. Yeah. Okay.
Hold on a second. Flint Fire Forge.
Is it really?
Wait. Hold on a second. Wait, no. Somebody was only like, oh, Mr. Gunn. I don't see codes. Read your email.
Rob, you're messing up. You didn't get Flint some codes.
No, Rob, Mr. Gunn, Mr. Troublemaker.
Oh, Mr. Gunn. Okay.
Mr. Gunn, Mr. I can't see my feet or the codes. I don't know what to tell you, man. Rob's finding code for you.
I warned you not to trust Rob on this Kickstarter, guys. I warned you. All right, you backed him. It's at your own risk.
Screw you, Joe. I did not 94% got their code. Okay.
Have you really? That's not bad for a couple of days, dude. It's not bad at all.
Chairman Mao, friend of the people.
Revolution is righteous.
Revolution is righteous.
And my combat mobility scooter.
All right, so
that was a thing, wasn't it? That was actually a fucking thing, wasn't it?
Well,
the combat there was something like that.
Grim Jim, Joe Desborough, had a video about it the other day.
Oh yeah?
And Jim approached it as somebody who has a physical disability. He walked with a cane, suffers from anxiety and depression. So he is somebody that is disabled.
Yep.
And he was like, this is so unreal. The combat mobility wheelchair is so unrealistic. And the idea of role-playing is you should be role-playing. Like are we going to have like ADA for dungeons, right? Is everything going to be built with the ramp? Because if it is, we can reach out to Joe Block. Because Joe Block was making sure that we had hallways in Katma that were at angles that the dwarves could detect. Remember that, Joe?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, it actually does. I don't consider all that necessarily a bad thing. What's the bad thing is it was obviously a stunt. Because was there any follow up? Is it even a thread on the on the content released on D&D Beyond? No, it's a one and done. It was a stunt, and that makes it work. Most of you listening probably don't realize that I am 50% deaf. I wear hearing aids, and it's nerve damage, so it got into my speech center. So sometimes language skills are a challenge for me, and so I know what it's like to live under a disability, and it's just like I saw this, like, what the hell, man? If you're going to account for it, but just don't pander to those of us with disabilities.
Well,
what they did.
It's people, generally speaking, it's people who do not have this disability who think that they are solving something for people with the disability. All right, like if you're gonna do a product for somebody who has a hearing loss, you would want somebody like Rob involved in the process because Rob is going to get. If you want something done for people with a vision loss, like Rach is legally blind. You want to involve people that understand it and live it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, when Rach, plays in RPGs, she's not looking to play somebody that's legally blind. Now,
Yeah.
if you're playing in GURPS, she might be able to do it because GURPS would give you a bonus for playing a disability, and she'd probably make it work for her very well. But the thing is, again, if you wanted to have somebody involved in making games more accessible for blind and vision impaired, get those people involved. If you want games that are going to be making people that are physically handicapped feel more comfortable playing the game, it's not going to be a fantasy mobility scooter that's going to do it. All right. I mean, and on top of that, if your character was physically disabled in game, wouldn't they have a mount? Wouldn't that be like the deal? I'll just.
Well, Elk of Antioch points out there are some historical characters that had disabilities and did quite well, and like
Yes.
Ivar the Boneless, the Viking.
So when you read up, I actually read a write up of this mobility wheelchair fantasy. It did more. First off, I don't know who could produce that for 200 gold pieces in D&D for.
No, it's not possible. It's just a token. Instead of a horse, you buy a chair or whatever.
So I was just like, but Grim Jim did a video on it, and the response was huge. And a lot of disabled people with disabilities, various disabilities, hearing loss, vision loss, physical and mental, were all like, yeah, this is just pandering. Like Rob said, it's not helping. It's just signaling and
virtue signaling. That's all.
So you know what would help deaf people? Interested that's something I'm a little familiar. Half the reason. I mean, I like minis and the Dwarven Forge. I mean, I do like that, but really, that's only half the reason. The other half, it helps me with the hearing. It helps when I go on the VTT. I love the dynamic lighting, but by and large, I use the token and map because I don't understand you guys a quarter of the time. So, but by showing me what you're doing, that quarter of the time where I don't understand you becomes way less. And it just makes for a better game, and I get the referee. And so with the hearing impaired or vision impaired people, there's probably a bunch of technique. And if Wizard would have spent their time on that would have been some truly useful material rather than magical wheelchairs.
Wizards doesn't know what the hell they're doing lately. I mean, I think this is the topic of the night is this Larian deal, right, Eric?
What's one of the topics? That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's just as fucked up. I was watching some videos and reading some comments on it on the way driving home from work today, just to sort of get prepared. It's people are all over the place on it. Whether it was Larian just saying, you know what, we came out of this thing with a fucking championship trophy. It's the greatest game of all time. We're just gonna not do part 2, BG4 rather, because 3 was so great. How do we top it? And we're gonna move on to bigger, better things, different avenues, different stuff, yada yada yada. And then there's other people who are coming across saying, well, Wizards probably fucked them up because they wanted this, they wanted that, or they wanted more money or whatever the hell, and Wizards are incompetent and they suck anyway. Or some people are saying they didn't want anything to sort of compete with their VTT that's coming out next year. So I don't know what to believe. I mean, it may be some combination of all that. And so
we will probably not know for a long, long time. Because as hell in that contract between Larian and Wizard, there's probably some social media clause.
Oh yeah.
Although Larian made it pretty clear that they are saying that it's their decision to not.
That's what that seems to be what they're saying. That's what I keep seeing. I saw the interview with the guy actually, and rather than just read about it, and he's like, he seems to be what he's saying is that we want to do one thing, kick ass, and move on to something else. So maybe it is Larian just saying we're just that kind of company. So Larian is a different kind of company. I mean, they spent so much time beta testing, getting this thing ready for actual play and all this stuff, making it right so that it wasn't like bullshit crippleware when it first came out with 1,000 patches and updates that was non-functional. They spent ridiculous amount of time compared to the rest of the industry getting this thing fucking ready. They act differently. They think
ready
differently.
again? Come on.
Oh
man.
well. Here's a good question. What did they do on their Divinity game? If they did the same thing,
I heard good things about it though.
If they did the same thing, then yeah, it definitely might be a Larian thing.
Well, here I'm gonna throw out some ideas, and we'll play offense for a little bit. Remember the rumor that Tencent or Tencent or whatever, however you pronounce that Chinese company's name, was looking to buy
Wizards.
Well, looking to buy Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, so they wanted
but
the
when
best.
When you went to the actual initial article in Chinese and the Google Translate it, they were talking, it seemed to be, about the digital IP rights. They wanted the rights. Now, who owns 1/3 of Larian? Tencent.
I don't know. Oh, do they?
They own 1/3. They don't own a controlling interest, but they own a significant investment. They invested in this
Interesting. Okay.
All right. So that kind of makes you look at it. Now, WotC had a very successful year for its D&D brand, even with a movie that didn't do as well as it probably should have.
They lost money. I mean, to be blunt, they lost money.
Yeah. Even with their blowing up their own OGL and all that goodwill, they made money. And what did they make their money on? Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate.
Okay? Yeah. From their life, because they got, I don't know how much, but they got something for every piece of that pie that got sold. So now there's two ways to look at this. You got WotC looking at it going, hey, we licensed this out. Imagine if we published this ourselves, how much more money we would have made. One way to look at it. Or you can look at it from Larian's point of view, which was, look how much money we gave WotC. We gave them over $100 million just to license their IP. Is it their IP that sold this, or was it our work that sold this?
Yeah, they might be divesting themselves just in order to, hey, we made our name, we made our bones in Mafia terms doing this fucking thing, even though I guess that Divinity thing was pretty good from what I heard. But they made their real bones and their reputation for themselves on this fucking awesome release. And we're going to move on to something better.
Well, it was a beloved, I would say it was both, because it's a beloved IP combined with quality and top-notch work. And with a fun and interesting creative vision, the story, the situation they chose to depict. So they did a lot of things right, but it would not have had the same impact if it was like Castles and
Crusades or whatever. Yeah,
Castles and Orcs and
it was not generic. Their own IP. Certainly. Now, Thraxis brings up a point.
Yes,
my feeling it has more to do with the fact that Hasbro laid off everyone at Wizards that Larian had dealt with.
Yeah, it might be.
They mentioned that in one of the articles, that everyone they dealt with at WotC was let go.
Yeah.
Now, one of those was Mike Marles. Even though Mike Marles was no longer part of the D&D team,
Crucial.
He was their initial contact, and I'm sure a huge pitch man and a huge source of lore on the Forgotten Realms. So it's a weird situation because both companies benefited, but you can also see where both companies are looking at it from their own point of view. And honestly, after you've seen what WotC did to their own company, would you want to be a business partner with them? WotC is not necessarily the safest company to partner up with. You've already seen them take a contract that was supposed to be perpetual and tell you that perpetual doesn't mean perpetual.
Yeah. That's what I wonder. Basically,
Wizard didn't say that. They're taking advantage of court cases since the release of the OGL, where perpetual. It actually wasn't started over somebody revoking a license saying perpetual doesn't perpetual. It started over a license that was tied to another contract, and they broke that contract. And so the company with the license said, no, 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 they gave us perpetual. We don't need to do that contract, that support contract anymore. And the court said, no, 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 that's not how it worked. But it was worded, you know how it is with lawsuits. It would the ruling was worded in such a way that gave everybody ideas on this stuff, including 10 years later, Wizards and the OGL.
But bringing it back like a step to see like above it, Rob, to see the bigger picture. It's funny. I'm noticing how many, like if I go on an old school, what I was doing today for a while at the bar before the show, by the way, I'm a little lit, guys, was go looking at the YouTube channels, not listening to the videos that much, but I was reading the comments about this topic, and all the old school YouTube guys were talking about how Wizards screwed the pooch, fucked the deal, did some unreasonable demands, just basically got in their own fucking way and stepped on their dick again. The old school guys were saying that. And the new school folks, who were, the 5e guys and whatnot, were saying, oh, Larry, that's just Larry being Larry, and they'll move on to something bigger and better, and that's awesome, blah, blah, blah. How much distrust does the old school community and the OSR and the independent publishers have for Wizards of the Coast due to their stupid fuck-ups with the OGL and everything else in the past year that makes us doubt and criticize everything that goes wrong? It must be their fucking fault. Whereas the new school crowd just looking at it as a Larian thing. It's just there's a certain level of distrust amongst us old fuckers. Right. I think that makes us look at it differently.
Because any threat to the OGL is an existential crisis.
I agreed.
For not everything we do as an old school community, but a lot of the stuff we do, it would put a real crimp in our style.
But it makes us doubt everything that ever happens, to look at Wizards in the worst possible light, to think it's their fault, that they screwed up, fucked up, didn't think, or as maliciously trying to do this for their own personal selfish reasons that is doomed to fail, just like their VTT, right? I mean, it's like that whole approach to it that we all instinctively take. It's our first instinctive response, I think,
Well, I mean, I actually was surprised to remember last year when
vaguely.
Roxy, well, all right.
Yeah.
When Roxy was like, hey, you know what? What we're going to do is we are going to put the old SRDs, that would mean future, modern 3.5, into the Creative Commons.
Mm-hmm.
They promised that first quarter of 2023. And in the second quarter of 2023, they included that as the in progress.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the third quarter, it was off the chart.
Yeah.
No longer mentioned.
Not a bit.
Okay. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind.
Vaporware. Yeah.
It's not, folks, I don't want to say it'll never happen.
It'll never happen.
But,
yeah.
Joe will sober up much quicker than this stuff will ever hit our.
Well, I'll tell you a related story. So during all this whole OGL controversy, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced their name, but Modiphius, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Modiphius came out with the community content program, and I went on to the Roll20 drive-through Discord channel and said, hey, this has the no derivative clause. This is what, and I laid down my usual spiel because I think that clause is taking advantage of people in an abusive way. And the response I got when I said that during the fiasco was almost immediate. And Modiphius did change their license. If a work contains their IP, it has to stay on the community content program, which is reasonable. But if they wrote an adventure and then take it out of the program and get rid of all their IP, mainly their 2D20 system, and repurpose it, say, for 5e, they explicitly said, we're okay with that. But then I pointed it out a year later, just a couple months ago, and I even talked to Stuart Wick. I had a series of email conversations with him, and it was nice that he had a conversation, but he was dancing around the fact that he didn't want to get rid of that clause.
That would be what drive-through.
Yeah.
So drive-through doesn't want to get rid of that clause.
Well, I
That-
can't make that statement because he didn't say that statement. But
No,
we
I
did
don't
not
know.
come. We did not come to a resolution.
All right. Well, here, I'll put it to you another way. The publisher seemed to be in favor of or agreeable to removing that clause from the contract, from the agreement.
Yes, the
And-
publisher. If the publisher pushed it, drive-through will absolutely submit a rewritten license. Drive-through will implement it. Now, what I was trying to do a couple months ago was to get them to change their boilerplate license, the one that program. When you go to say, hey, I want to start a community content program, and you go through all their
Mhm.
procedure and they approve you, they'll hand you a license. They go ahead and use this. Just change your company name. And I said, can you change the boilerplate so that they proactively have to put in that no derivative clause in? And back in when the OGL fiasco, I got some favorable response from drive-through that they would change the bureau boilerplate. But just like the whole thing of putting D20 under the 3.5 under the D20 SRD under the Creative Commons, it went nowhere. And when I brought it up, it was like, well, we got to protect our IP and the usual excuse.
Well, and let's be woefully honest. By the way, folks,
Oh,
when it comes to corporations, big or small, the bottom line, well, there's two. All right, the bottom line for the company is what's going to make us the most money, but the bottom line for anybody in charge is what's the easiest path for me to take.
what gets me
And-
the most money this quarter, this period, this year,
Right.
that I could say it looks good and move on to my next fucking
Right,
job.
and if doing nothing is going to keep the money rolling,
Yeah.
and is the easiest solution, I will vote and decide every time to do absolutely fucking nothing,
hmm
because nothing is a lot easier to do than something. And again, getting into the corporate mentality, because I worked in the corporate world and I knew corporate buyers and knew the little tricks they used to do. And then I worked in the government field where I saw all this bullshit going on. The idea of changing something that's been in place for years, even if changing it makes it better, it's good enough. I don't want to. If I change something, then maybe there's an unforeseen change that it could have repercussions, and
Yeah.
this is making me money.
Yep.
Robert, they sit back and they take what 10, 15% off the top of every sale that's part of a community bullshit thing.
Yeah.
They do nothing. They do absolutely nothing. Somebody else supplies the IP. They we just did a contract, man. It's just, I mean, drive through. God bless them, but they have the easiest job in our industry, in our community.
Yeah, it's nice. They paid for it. They invested time and money and merged
Yes,
with,
they did.
the other with the RPG site and blah, blah, what's it called? What was the other one? It was drive through into something else. What the hell was the
RPG
other one?
now.
RPG now.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah,
There was
yeah.
also Your Games Now that didn't last
Yep.
very long.
Yep.
Didn't have as large a selection.
Well, our RPG now merged into drive-through.
And I'll tell you the truth. Back when they were separate companies, I preferred RPG Now, although drive-through RPG was useful for having a free game every week or month or whatever it was. But the free game was always locked down under an Adobe rights management program. You could only open it up with
Mm.
the Adobe PDF reader. It was a pain in the ass, but that's how I got my I don't know, was it Gamma World 4th edition or whatever the heck it was?
hmm
The one that was published by the imprint for, oh man, I can't even remember. Same people that Necromancer Games initially printed under, and I
I don't
couldn't
even
tell you.
know. I couldn't even know, dude.
Oh yeah,
Dude, who was?
Necromancer?
Necromancer was was a license to be an imprint under somebody else, and I used to know
Oh,
all this
wow.
stuff. What?
I think you're right.
Yeah, they that was initially. Oh God, it was a major third party publisher that did all these like licenses with a somebody out there knows oh, God, I want to say White Wolf, but I don't think it was White Wolf. Maybe it was White Wolf,
I don't know.
but I mean, so I actually lost track of my.
We are having a senior moment, boys and girls.
Really,
Nobody
holy
can
crap.
remember a goddamn thing.
What was
Who was, dude? What had they merged at the time? Oh Christ, it's got to be about 8 or 10 years ago. Remember, Wizards came up with another boneheaded decision where they were going to no longer let you download anything you've ever bought off of
okay.
Drive-Through, the RPG site, wherever the hell.
This
remember
one
that?
I remember very well.
I remember at 1 a.m. downloading 50 documents or 80 whatever the hell I ever bought off of them. People were downloading them and buying them and downloading them. And Wizards was like, fuck you. You're going to lose the right to do this. You're going to lose. They're going to lose their license. Whatever it was, they threatened people who had purchased things from ever being able to download them again.
It wasn't a threat. So this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. To the best of my memory, this is what happened. Wizards, and I don't remember if it was RPG Now or One Bookshelf. The merger already happened. I couldn't tell you.
I can't remember.
But one day, they make an announcement that in 48 hours, they are going to no longer be selling their PDFs of the TSR and early WotC era.
Yes, that's what it was.
Then it became and you will not be able to download such. So you bought it. If you didn't download it immediately, you were shit out of luck.
It was like 1 day's notice or some shit too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember clearly. 1 a.m. I'm sitting there clicking on my shitty fucking connection, trying to download stuff, and sitting in my chair with my laptop, just like I got to get all my shit now. And in the meantime, every board, every blog was blowing up with this thing. This is one of their early boneheaded moves, you know?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The excuse for this was piracy. There is too much piracy of our material going on, so we are going to no longer sell the PDFs. Well, guess what? The moment you do that, you've just encouraged piracy. Because before, people were going and buying your shit.
Yes.
Now people don't have the option to buy it. They only have one option left: to pirate it. And my observation, I'm not saying whether it's firsthand or if I got this secondhand, but my observation was that the quality of the PDFs that were in the wild were a higher quality than the PDFs.
Yeah, there were OCR scanned.
Some of them were.
Yeah. Some of them were better. They were OCR scanned. They had better resolution on the pictures. They weren't just like somebody putting a fucking book on top of a copy machine. You know what I mean? And trying to scan it a page at a time. Yeah, you're right. They were better. They stole your alternative PDFs, Mr. Gunn. Damn.
Well, that's that. You know what? I would say that's a shame, but I owned them and I own the original too. And it's not that big a shame. Thraxis, I think Drive-Thru is WotC's next target to take down and will pull all their content and ban any future D&D content. Well, now I'm going to throw a curveball into that. Because WotC has been, believe it or not, licensing VTTs that aren't their own now, recently, signing new contracts and saying, you can support 5e and we'll let you do licensed material because we want a cut of your sales of our licensed material. And I still find that surprising for a company that wants to start their own VTT and wants pretty much a closed sandbox of
Mhm.
it's our garden, keep the fuck out. We want to keep all
Yeah.
your money. But at the same time, licensing their work out to other VTTs.
Well, there's an alternative explanation. They still, since their VTT, we know is going to be 3D, 3D graphics based.
Mhm.
They
Right.
could view. There could be a thread. I'm not saying the attitude you described doesn't exist, but it may be parallel to a thread where we're going to offer something so superior, so different that yes, these guys with their old-fashioned whiteboards and old-fashioned voice over internet and their old-fashioned tokens and battle maps, yeah, we can let them. As long as we get our cut, they can have that business. But we're going to do 3D. It's going to be Dwarven Forge in cyberspace.
3D animation. It's going to be awesome. Thraxis, I think their VTT isn't going to be ready in time, and they're going to need
No.
to buy people over.
It's going to be 4E all over again.
It's going to be a shit show in every level.
Listen, they've already essentially admitted that. And how did they
Yeah.
admit that?
Did they?
I'm going to tell you how they admitted it.
All right.
So at PAX last year, they had made the announcement of when 5e Forever, that's what I'm going to call it, right? D&D Forever.
Yeah.
D&D Forever was releasing, like, what was it, Tax Day or the day after Tax Day, like April 16th or some bullshit.
Was
like
it?
that. Yeah, and then they went, "Oh no, that's not right. That ain't happening. That's a false date. That was one of the interns came out and fucked the pooch and put the no, that's not happening." But Glick over at what is it? Roll for initiative, roll for combat. I guess it's roll for.
Yeah.
The guys that got their real head start with the OGL.
Yeah.
He looked at their release schedule, and everything else that was announced at PAX had the same date. Everything else for 2024 had the same date.
Really?
That's for the core books. The core books, though, now are being booted to September, November, and next February. Why is that? Because the VTT is not going to be ready.
Mm.
The VTT was you have to launch with the VTT.
What kind of retardism is it that you don't have all 3 books ready for Christmas to purchase in a box set?
Well,
what kind of fuck up are you dealing with there?
But Joe, here I'm going to take this even further. When they released, we'll go back in time. Yeah, that's a flashback.
Yep.
AD&D. What was the first book in AD&D to come out?
Monster Manual.
Why was the first book the Monster Manual? I can tell you why.
I don't know. Actually, I assumed it was easier to write because all you're
Easier to
doing.
write, all the material, but it could also be used with basic.
Yes, it could have been. Yep.
No, that's not why the Monster Manual came out. The Monster Manual came out because it was immediately usable with OD&D.
That's what he just said. That's what he just said.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I didn't hear you.
No, it's okay. But and the next thing that came out was the Player's Handbook. The Player's Handbook was it is the core book, the most needed, useful book
for
DMG.
Rolling. Mm-hmm.
The DMG was superfluous. Stuff that had.
I'm still bitter that it didn't have the combat charts.
You're not the only one.
But the PHP, you wouldn't need the DMG then, basically, for the most part.
So why the new order when it comes to 5e?
Because they're stupid. I mean, I can only assume they're stupid and incompetent.
No.
I missed something. What is the new order for 5?
Player's Handbook in September, DMG in November, Monster Manual next year in February.
Oh, I can tell you why. That's easy.
How are you, Rob?
I love when Rob just proclaims the truth.
That's because under the later editions, the Player's Handbook has pretty much all you need to play characters. And the other reason is that the next version isn't going to be a big change as people think it is. It's going so you can use your 5e monster stats. You can use them. They'll work.
The only book you need is the Player's Handbook to run the new edition.
The DMG is just advice. That's all it is. It's not how to run the game. It's advice on how to run the game. It's not rules. It's just
it does have the magic items, but it does have a few things like that.
The only thing that's really changing hugely is stuff that's happening in the player's handbook, which is
Yeah.
player forward,
Yep.
and in the monster manual where they're rewriting the fluff to take
Mm.
out uncivilized and
Yeah, they're word
slow
changing.
and
They're
dim-witted.
Orwellian censoring the books in order to make
Yeah.
them more acceptable to current date. Yeah, that's all they're doing.
So
Taking away race, whatever they're going to call
right.
it, whatever
But
whatever the new word is.
by delaying the last book until February, they don't have to release the VTT until February.
Or later.
Or they're going to have it ready by next February, I think. So they can have a beta probably ready in the late fall of the VTT. It
Can't
might be.
wait until this dumpster fire drops. I can't wait.
I know it's going to be
Can't wait.
interesting. By the
Oh,
way,
God.
Grimlore is the secret you were told a week or so ago able to be disclosed yet? Not yet. Last I asked you,
What?
when a WotC employee is no longer employed, you can spill the beans. Yeah, and they're still going to be employed for a wee bit. So can't talk about that. And there was supposed to be an announcement that's going to be happening at GaryCon, but I haven't heard that announcement drop yet. And I was hearing rumors at TotalCon that the announcement for GaryCon may no longer be an announcement. So if it doesn't happen, if Monday happens and we don't have an announcement, next Wednesday I will talk about the announcement that didn't happen. Oh, actually,
Dude,
Actually,
I mean, I'm blaming the ciders and the shots here, but what the fuck are you talking about, man?
there's an announcement that's supposed to be happening at GaryCon that
Mhm.
has to deal with a WotC IP. But
A
it
what's
may
the
not-
IP?
Yep, but it may not happen. So that's what I was hearing at TotalCon from other sources.
So why are you
Everybody-
waiting until Wednesday? Just spill it right now, Eric.
I can't.
Yeah, break the
It
news.
hasn't dropped yet, and I'm not going to be the one that's going to drop it if it does drop.
Okay. Can you type it into our private chat so I know what the hell we're talking about?
I'll tell you after,
All right.
I'll tell you after the show.
All right.
No,
He's
by the way,
muzzling us,
folks-
Joe. He's making sure that we can't spill the
Yes,
beans.
right. So
Who
by the
who
way,
the hell
folks,
listens to me anyway?
but by the way, folks, there's going to be a bonus live stream on Sunday night. I will find a way to get it out to
Oh, yeah?
all. Myself and a bunch of others that aren't at GaryCon that do channels are going to get together and host a We Weren't Here
That's nice.
wrap up of GaryCon. So it should be interesting. So I'll have more about that probably tomorrow or early Sunday. So yeah,
You haven't been to that as many times as you've been to North Texas and the other ones, huh, Eric?
which one?
GaryCon. GaryCon.
I haven't been to GaryCon since
while.
2019.
Yeah, it's been a while. We had COVID and all that,
And,
but
and
even
2019
seemed
was
to be a
the
big one.
year
for
I
it.
said, "Holy shit, this place is too fucking crowded."
I remember you saying that. Even then, I
And-
remember you saying
and-
it's tight. The space is too small.
Yeah.
It's claustrophobic. The whole bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they move since then, or are they still in the same?
Oh no, it's
little-
even more claustrophobic. So what
Oh,
they
fuck
did
that.
was,
I don't like people that much to
All right.
fucking be able to.
so
fucking
here, think
gamer,
of it,
gamer funk. Fuck that.
Joe, you know how you hate visiting me by subway because you got that fucking like I don't know, quarter-mile walk. That's
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't
All right.
fun. It wasn't fun.
so now.
and it's
imagine-
the stair you live in is nice, but it's still it ain't fun.
So imagine the Grand Geneva, okay, which is probably a little bit longer than a quarter-mile long because it's like fucking row houses in a way. It's like it just goes long, all right, and all
Mhm.
your gaming is on one end, and then you got to walk a quarter-mile through housing to get to the new vending area, which is
Oh,
what they
God.
started in.
Why don't they just move it to somewhere cool?
Well, because I don't know. They should go to Milwaukee, my opinion. So what they did
Yeah.
this year is they did Founders and Legends, which was a Saturday, Sunday, Monday con last weekend, and then Tuesday no con, Wednesday pre-con, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday GaryCon.
So
So yeah, there's basically like a week and a half of GameCon this year.
okay.
I am at neither one, obviously, but Bad Mike is down there.
Is he?
So,
Good for
yeah,
him.
Bad
Is he going to
Mike-
make his ass up here to fucking ShireCon this
He's-
or next
he's-
year or
I
whatever?
believe his wife is
Oh.
retiring, and they may make the drive.
Speaking of Bad
Nice.
Mike, I have an assignment for you, Eric, for your next show with him.
Yes.
Tell him to fill out his fucking survey.
Oh, I will get on
Nice.
him tonight. Mike, fill out your fucking. He'll probably be like, I can't do it from my tablet.
Miss Tablet.
Oh,
Well,
and
yeah,
I'm sorry. Who's the gentleman from Wizard Towers Games? First name again?
Don Samora.
Don. Don, you need to fill out your survey too.
Get around
All
doing
right,
tech support live
Don,
here.
Don, I can let. I can. I'll yell at Don tonight. I can yell at Don right now. Don. Rob says, fill out your goddamned survey.
I filled out my survey. I haven't ordered the books yet.
I
I
ordered
gotta
my
get
book.
into-
Why are
I
you
didn't
ordering your books? I sent you the book. Don't
Well, I
worry.
know. That's why I figured I didn't order them yet. I might order them anyway, just because I bought them for some goddamn stupid reason.
Well, no,
And I'll
no.
give them away somewhere, you
I
know.
was about to say,
Well,
You-
you got both softback for your editing. You got both softback coming and both hardbacks
All
coming.
right, that's cool. That's cool. And guys, if the editing sucks, blame Eric. Okay, so it wasn't me. That's all I'm saying.
hey, I had nothing.
I
I
gotta blame
had
somebody
nothing
else.
to do. I don't know nothing about birthing no babies, editing no books. I know nothing.
I know nothing.
No,
Oh,
Gwenmeyer, I'm talking
no.
about the survey for my Kickstarter.
All right, Mr. Gunn. Mr. Gunn admits that he is a user error. So
he is a user error.
He is a user error.
He's a- Damn,
Actually,
man.
no. Actually, okay. So this is a little bit of how, because my day job is I write software for metal cutting machines, and I've been doing this for 30 years. But the company's small, so I'm often, I'm not the guy always answering the phone, but I am
Mhm.
the guy that they bump problems down. So I have a lot of experience and support. So what Mr. Gunn said, I use the drive-through RPG complimentary copy tool, but because drive-through is sending out so many promotional emails, there's probably a lot of people, and he's not the first one who missed the email that I sent
Yep.
out.
Yeah.
So that means I'm going to have to probably still use it, but do what I did before, which was make a backer only post. Say, here are your codes if you missed your email, and so that make sure that all the bases are covered.
Mhm.
So I'm not continually responding for messages for the next 6 months. Hey, where's my stuff? Or worse yet, somebody said that Rob Conley's a jerk. He didn't ever send me my codes.
You heard me say that? Shit.
So no, none of it is relevant to you.
Joe, you can't pick on Rob like that.
I know.
So
I know.
so feedback like that, it's not a matter of saying, oh yeah, the problem is solved, or oh yeah, okay, he should have checked his email. No, you got to really look at it. Okay, why didn't he pick up his email?
Yeah.
And then account for it the next time.
I gotta say, I mean, I have so many Kickstarters. I'm overdue for my. Every once a month, I used to just log in, spend a couple hours on a Sunday, figure out, all right, here's my Kickstarters I backed. There's maybe, I don't know, 80, 100, whatever. What have I gotten? What have I not gotten? What stage is it at? I have a whole spreadsheet that I have to, fill in. Did I get it? Did I not get it? Did I download the PDF version? Did I not? And then I do my email searches to find, Kickstarter, mentioning the name or whatever, Majestic, whatever, and find it. And it's like it takes hours, and I hate it. And it makes me never want to back any more Kickstarters again. I'm way overdue on that. There might be other people who are as much of a slacker as I am.
I'm worse.
Are you? Yeah. You got shit you never even noticed that you didn't get.
I have. I'm not going to say which Kickstarter it was, but by the time I realized I never got it, it was an hour and a half after. It was a year and a half after it shipped.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yep.
Guess I'm buying it at retail if I want it now.
Yep.
Dumb schmuck.
Yeah, at that point, it's your goddamn fault.
Yep.
You can't really go back and say, "Hey, man,
Hey,
I never got my link."
I somehow I was just not reading any of this stuff. Now I make a point of every 4 or 5 days to go through every email on that main email. Oh.
Yeah, you know what fucked me was I lost all the ability to keep up. Was during what was it, the Zine Quest, where all our guys came on here and started pimping their shit. Remember, and everybody was kind of, well, a few of us were ripped. I was ripped. I think you were a little ripped, Eric. And I mean,
What?
Matt had a
Yeah.
couple in them, and it was just like, it was a good night. And everybody started talking about all the Zine Quest things they backed. And I'm like, I'm going to use this as a like an Amazon wish list. Everything everybody said, I fucking backed that night. I ended up backing like 18 Zine Quests, and it took
Oh,
me
geez.
forever to get them all. And I got so far behind that I'm like, I lost track, and that's like my whole spreadsheet solution. So now I'm just annoyed, you know.
I know. I mean, and then there is then there's this experience I had with Goodman Games and Dark Tower. Now, the ending of the story is good. They were helpful once I figured out the problem.
We all like
But
that.
but I didn't get my PDFs,
Mm.
and you know, so
I don't get that,
but
Rob. I got them. I don't understand how you didn't get them.
I'll explain why.
Okay.
And there's still a complaint in here. So what happened was they had a backer level where for slightly more dollars, it said Fantasy Ground VTT maps plus blah. And I paid for that. And I even got the $25 VTT map, which I understood to be just the raw graphics by themselves, not packaged in a module. What I didn't realize, that backer level was only for the Fantasy Ground VTT module. It didn't include the PDFs. So I only figured that out 2 weeks ago. So I messaged them and say, hey, I didn't realize this was only for the VTT. Can I drop that part? I still want the $25 add-on, but can I get the PDF? Because that's what I really want. And they said, sure, and they gave me the PDF. But the complaint is that was confusing. And there were undoubtedly a bunch of other people who made the same mistake as I did. And it's like, don't have these zillions of backer levels. What?
Yeah, I agree. Just keep it
Keep
simple.
it simple, man.
Just PDF, print, or both. I mean, Jesus Christ, that's all. You know what I'm saying? That's the most basic way to look at it, and it works for people. You know.
All right. Well, good. We're talking about Kickstarters, and I had a Facebook rant the other day. And I'm not going to name the crowdfunding project, because remember, crowdfunding is not just Kickstarter and Indiegogo. It's BackerKit. It's was it Proud Ox or some shit like that. Hasbro has their own crowdfunding. I mean, how many updates is too many updates? If I'm backing 10 projects, do I want daily?
Doug. Doug.
Yeah.
Doug actually isn't. Doug, his updates isn't necessarily daily. It can be a bit much.
Can be.
I stopped.
But they're detailed.
I unsubscribed. I wiped my ass today. I put on red socks today. Oh, dude, silence. You know.
No, don't get me wrong. Doug's a great guy. He does
I love his
work,
stuff.
But,
Yeah.
but the updates are a lot.
Yep.
But I have one that updated 5 times in 5 times in 3 days, and there were no stretch goals hit.
Yeah.
You hit a stretch goal. Yeah. Tell me about it. I'm excited to hear about it. More shit for me. But I don't need a daily update. And listen, I got a lot of responses on Facebook, and some people are like, well, yeah, you're saying that you're already a backer, so you don't need to be reminded. But some people drop out of backing. I've backed over 500. I had to look around. Over 500 projects on Kickstarter alone.
You're saying that out loud with Rachel so close by, within smacking range? Holy shit, you're a brave man.
I checked.
All right.
I've backed over 500 projects on Kickstarter alone. Do you know how many I've canceled? 0. If I go in, I'm in. I don't need you to tell me, oh, well, we're going to try to do, or I don't need your daily announcement plus we're doing a special video. You could have done that all in one fucking announcement.
Yeah.
I mean, it's too much. If I'm backing 10 projects at this time and everybody's giving me an update or more every day, that's 10, 12 updates daily. I don't need that shit. Most people don't. I'm
on the other hand,
to unback, sadly.
On the other hand, it was a drive through, and I'm not so much complaining because they don't control how fast Lightning Source prints, but Lightning Source basically left me out to dry in that I ordered my copy in late January, and it took until the end of February, or it took until the first week of March to get the last one in, and well, I had nothing to report. I had zero, nada
Right.
to report. And then toward the last week of February, I started getting this Kickstarter. Rob isn't talking, so I maybe hopefully this was okay, but I started commenting. I didn't make a backer post, but I did say that they're still on their way or when they're shipped. I didn't feel that was newsworthy enough to make a backer post out of.
Just
But
tell me that it fulfilled. Tell me when it's coming and shut the hell up. Otherwise, I don't care.
Mhm.
And dude, Thraxis, I've been on a fucking Castles and Crusade Troll Lord Games buying spree since COVID. I bought everything they have twice, right? I like the guys and I want their shit and it's good stuff in general. The quality, except their maps kind of suck. But this last thing broke me. And it takes a lot to break me in terms of these Kickstarters, right? But those Gygax world building books, you're saying you had to cancel too. They're already in the works there. Dude, $450 fucking dollars to get what everybody wants in the first place for it's going to be what 7 or 9 books and then a few more PDFs on top of it, more graphics, more art. And I would imagine they're going to take away the 3E bullshit, the kits and all that stuff from those days and put in some Troll Lord stuff or 5E shit or just generic shit. I don't know, but it was just over the top too much. I almost would have rather them release a book a month. You know what I mean? Rather than I could sustain $50 a month for 11 months or 12 months, but $450 in one fucking shot. No, I got shit. I got bills. I got plans. You know what I mean? They should have
Look,
done it the other way.
I really don't like to say anything negative. I found myself these days not liking to give negative reviews, but
Yeah,
those Gygax world building books are
yeah.
not that good.
I happened to come across a couple of PDFs of those randomly. They appeared on my computer somehow. I don't know how it fucking happened. And I was looking through them and I'm like, they're all right, but they're not, unless they're going to upgrade them significantly. I know what you're saying, Rob. You know what I mean? It's just, they weren't quite what I wanted in terms of the quality for $50 fucking game book.
But the censure, Joe,
Mhm.
is I saw them back in the 3.5 days, and most of them are co-written.
I
Gygax
know.
didn't author those. Those
I
are
know.
not Gygax. Those are Gygax working with another guy
Mhm.
to produce those books.
The one thing I thought was good was the Canting Crew. I liked that one. I might back because they have one option to back one book. I could see myself maybe backing the Canting Crew. The rest of them,
I think
don't
the
know.
Canting Crew was the first one, so that may be the most Gygaxian.
It seems like it. There was a lot of Gygaxianisms in there, and I kind of like the feel. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Gunn. The full fucking girlfriend experience. I want a Hummer. I want to reach around. Not a Rob reach around. I want a real reach around. I want the whole fucking shebang here. You know?
But see, that means that you're getting. Well, I don't want
I've had the Rob reach around. It's overrated. Anyway, continue.
Well, I appreciate that reviews. You're ejected. Get off of my Kickstarter.
What?
Whoa!
What? What?
Whoa!
What happened?
You
Someone
disparaged
I
my.
remember those days.
Who's disparaging
my
you?
reach around.
Oh, your reach around. Not your Kickstarter though. It was excellent editing on the Kickstarter, but your reach around, yeah, it wasn't that great, dude. Lotion is the key. I'm telling you. Anyway, continuing.
And you drank my peach mead.
Oh, that's not a euphemism. Actually, Rob has a mead named after him. Yeah, he actually.
Well, my character.
He's after his character.
That is the stencil for my coat of arms. Endless Stars, a paladin character I played in live action. Everybody
RPG grandma have to be frugal. Exactly. I mean, everything costs more money. You buy a banana, costs you $19. I mean, Jesus Christ. So yeah, we all got to be watching our money.
$8.59. What about cage free? You willing to pay that?
But you think we have it bad in the RPG world? Kellyanne, could you tell me a price of a fountain pen that you wouldn't be as surprised at the people who are serious about are willing to pay?
40,000.
What?
What?
I said 40,000.
$40,000 for a fountain pen.
What? You better be able
Yeah.
to stick that up your ass and get a fucking full blown. Anyway, no way. No, who would pay 40 grand for a fucking fountain pen? Jesus
How many people would
Christ.
pay for that $40,000 fountain pen?
Too many.
Mr. Gunn, Rob just pulled the wife around. I love it.
Oh my God, Rob.
Oh, shit.
What?
Look at it.
He's getting off. He don't want to get in trouble.
It's wet.
No.
Uh-oh. Is Kellyanne getting on camera,
Oh,
Rob?
no.
He can't hear us. He got his headset off. He couldn't hear
Yep.
us.
Oh, now we can make fun of him.
Yeah, that's true. Rob, is Kellyanne getting on camera here or what?
No, she's being camera shy.
Camera shy? She's been on the camera post show and pre show, but has she been on during the show? I don't know. I don't
Yes,
think so.
yes, she has. Here's
Okay.
everybody. Here's Kellyanne.
Hello.
Hello.
She drew some of the pictures in the book for the first
All
time.
right. Nice.
Nice.
And she is a craft person.
Amen.
So
Huh?
she's crafty.
Crafty person.
Yeah, and her current craft of choice right now is penmanship using fountain pens.
Not $40,000 pens. Though.
No. But you have bought ones at a couple $100.
Uh-oh. Rob's
I
laying a
have bought-
smackdown.
I have bought her.
Oh, your money, not her money, Rob. Is that what you're saying? Oh, yeah. He's Rob's in deep shit. Every married man recognizes the mistake Rob
right.
just
Yeah.
made right now.
Yeah, hon, they're abusing me right now. I can almost hear it.
Oh.
Yeah, I bought her a glow in the dark fountain pen.
So it's your money, not her money. Is that what you're saying, Rob?
No, it's most of it's her
all
money.
right.
Her. That's- But when it comes
Backtrack, Rob. Backtrack.
Yeah.
Backtrack.
Yeah,
when it
yeah,
comes to
you do.
anniversary, birthdays, and Christmas, it's easy to find
Yeah.
something.
Johnny D,
Uh-huh.
you're right. Rob is digging out. Rob is in a hole right now.
What?
Oh, he doesn't even know it. He's a dead man later.
Yeah, so her last obsession was candles. And
Uh-huh.
for a while, we had a literal wall of candles in the bedroom, here in the workshop. In fact, there's remnants of it.
Oh, there
Remnants.
we go.
Whoa. They got
But-
the full view here of Rob's room.
But the fountain pens are far more compact.
Mm-hmm. Less
There you
space.
go.
Good.
Well, why don't you get that new thing you bought, the storage, the cat thing?
That's all right.
In the role playing world, we get our little bags like the bag of holding that I bring to ShireCon, or the stuff that you carry your minis in. The fountain pen world has their own thing too.
Mm.
The people who
Mr.
get
Gunn, I don't think Rob knows he's in a hole.
Yeah,
Mr. Gunn.
yeah.
I don't think Rob realizes. And thankfully, Kellyanne didn't hear the comment
No.
because most wives that I know would
this
just
is a,
fucking kill them.
Fountain pen, a bag made especially for fountain pen.
There's cats all over.
Oh, all right. What we got here? Eric, can we do? Oh, yeah, I know. I can do this now.
All right,
I
hold
can
on,
do the
hold
whole
on, hold on.
solo layout.
Oh,
Oh, we undid me. You undid me. There you go. All right.
There's how many in here?
No.
That enough. No, there's
There's room
Kellyanne.
for expansion.
There's never enough. It's like dice. There's never enough. Can she hear us, Rob, or no? Rob can't even hear us. He has no
This
fucking
one
headset
No,
on.
is-
don't worry about it.
This one is a Banu, and it's made by these Russian people who left after Putin came into power, and I think they're out of Armenia now.
Oh, okay. You know more than I do.
It's the same brand that you got me from, the
Oh,
one dark
nice.
one.
No, it helps them out.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
Most of my stuff is Chinese pens because I'm poor.
Okay.
Mhm. Most of mine comes Staples.
made
'cause
by
I'm
the
poor.
the Uyghurs over
Mhm.
there in Western.
Thank you.
I will leave you to it.
Okay.
When they're not making Apple products, they're making fountain pens for.
Rob ran out of his own stuff. Now he's showing his wife's stuff.
Joe,
That's
don't make me start.
He said it, not me.
Don't make me start.
Oh, we don't want to see
It
Rob's
was
stuff.
Thraxis.
It was Thraxis said it, not me.
Rob,
I
Joe was just reading.
was just reading Thraxis's innocent comment there. What? I've come home to people actively breaking in or been cooking inside and they try to break. What?
What?
What? Grandma, Granny, you got someone breaking in? Fucking call the police, man. Eric, call the cops. You got some contacts, I heard. What
He's
the hell?
8 years old.
I think
Most
it's a little
my
out of their
contacts are retired
jurisdiction.
now.
Juris my diction. Was that from the Matrix, right? Wasn't it?
Excuse
Bless
me.
you. Bless you.
I'm sorry. I'm allergic to work.
God forbid. You know, Eric, Greg was in there. He was saying he can't make it. He's got
Yep.
got some work to do. So, Greg, I hope you're listening as we bust Rob's balls because Rob, you missed the entire thing where if Kellyanne was listening properly, you'd be in deep shit. But you missed it and she missed it, so you're safe. So,
Well, I'm deaf and all she could hear was headphone speakers.
Yep. Rob, if you were, if she heard you, this would be her tonight. Just saying, you'd be dead, man. It'd be all over.
Dead
You say
man.
so.
Oh God. So Eric, you said there was multiple topics tonight. What else
There
would
are
you like
multiple
to
topics.
bring
I
us?
got another one. I want Rob's opinion on this.
All right.
All right. So, all right, Rob, and Joe, and of course the fair audience. This one is an interesting one. So we know that Kobold Press
Yeah.
had the Project Black Flag,
Yes.
which became Tales of the Valiant.
The stupidest name in
horrible, yeah.
G.
Tales of Prince Valiant would have been a better way to call it.
God, what a
I mean,
stupid.
Black Flag was indeed a much better name.
It was a great.
Yes, it was
great title.
great, and it really evoked, and it was like ready to get up there and take on the big boys.
Yeah.
All right.
It was rebel. It was fucking punk, man. It was punk
Right.
rock.
Now, I don't know if you all know, but Black Flag was in the works before the OGL announcement fiasco.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
Mongoose kind of did the same thing. Green Ronin kind of did the same thing. You know, when you get established so far, you come out with your own system.
Right. So they were already, they put it into overdrive once 5e got announced. But then again, you got to realize that Wolfgang Bauer is out there in Seattle. He likely still hangs out in games with those people that were fired by WotC this year. So he probably was listening to, they're going to be rebooting or time for me to, because Kobold money is 5e money.
Yeah.
So this week, I believe, I'm not sure if it was Wednesday or yesterday. Everything melts. Kobold Book of Beasts Volume 1 appears on D&D Beyond.
Book of Beasts?
It's their monster book. From 2016.
Yeah, that was a good book. The first one was an excellent book. The rest of them, The first one was Tome of Beasts was really pretty good, though, I think.
Available on D&D Beyond now.
Okay.
The company that is supposedly walking away from 5e to have Black Flag / Tales of the Valiant is now licensing with the same company that was trying to put them out of business last year, when they should be pushing and how we're walking away from the official game. Everybody should be playing our new game, right? The alternative to 5e. But in the meantime, we're going to support 5e.
Well, that's assuming it's a zero-sum game.
I understand that, but I would assume if you're trying to take market share, which is what you want, right? You want to be able to say our game is going to be a better alternative than 5e is. 5e is going to be dead. D&D forever will be forever. It almost seems defeatist to license with what is essentially your enemy. But again, I want Rob's opinion.
I mean, you are giving them money, but on the other hand, too, I mean, to think that you're going to, Pathfinder became the #1 brand through fortuitous opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Pagio had the quality and the staff to back the play, but they did not create the opportunity. Wizards shooting themselves in their foot multiple times with making D&D 4E, D&D in name only, with their preliminary market with disparaged 3.5 and earlier uh, uh, edition,
Mhm.
and with their all their adventures being one-note wonders for being fantasy superheroic 24/7. You know, Wizard did a lot of things to give Pazio that opportunity. Now, kudos to Pazio for having the being able to take advantage of that and driving Pathfinder to #1. But unless that happens with the release of D&D Next or whatever,
Right.
Kobold best path is to get the money. Is to get the revenue going where they can. They have a 2016 book that if they sign a contract with D&D Beyond to release, they can get revenue for it. Why not?
Okay.
Now, Black Flag, by being its own system, yes, they're gonna attract some 5e fans, but they're gonna have to grow their own audience. That's why the Tales of the Valiant name is
Dumb.
kind of bad, because that was a stumble into growing their own audience.
Right.
Because Black
I
Flag got
mean-
the buzz, not Tales of the Valiant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
They lost every bit of name recognition from that thing.
And I've heard the argument. Black Flag makes me think of roach spray. Whatever.
Come on.
It's a different market. No, if you're marketing an RPG known as Black Flag, I don't think you're stepping on the trademark of an Anton roach spray. I don't think that those two are really going to be. But yeah, that was just why come out with Black Flag and change it to Tales of the Valiant? You're not a big enough company to need like D&D 1, D&D Next.
Yeah.
You don't need a project name to hide behind. But
now to be, there was a comment that it's Rob is not wrong. It feels dirty. Well, yeah, if you're going to do that, you should be kind of forthcoming to saying, look, we still have a lot of 5e fans of our work that we still haven't sold them on Black Flag, and they've been asking us to put this on D&D Beyond for a while. So we took the opportunity, and depending on how much they were allowed to divulge of the term, if it was me, I would divulge every term that I could that I'm allowed to divulge. I'm no. If people have questions about what I do as far as Bat in the Attic games, I'm happy to, just like I did with the Judges Guild thing. Explain what I was going to do. Explain, and when people have questions later on, I just explain it again.
Yeah.
And in today's business environment on the internet at our level, you need to be as open as you can be.
oh, definitely.
Did you guys back the Tales of the Valiant Kickstarter?
I did not.
I didn't
No.
either. I imagine
I have no use case for it. I wish them the best of luck, but
yeah, me too.
it's between using 5e as is and my
So
own
5e.
Majestic Fantasy
Yeah.
RPG. And to be truth to told, I have a first draft of my own 5e supplement.
Yeah, I've seen it. With Tales of the Valiant, I look at that as Pathfinder 2, Pathfinder 1. It basically gives me, I'll read through it. Same thing as Axe. I'll read through it to find things that I could steal from my own game. That's the only reason to me that they exist. I will never play their games. I will never run them as written. I just get them to look at them to steal shit from my own thing. That's pretty much all I'll do with them. So it didn't make sense to me to back it.
Right.
You know what I mean? For whatever the hell they were looking for. Even the PDF version. I mean, eventually everything shows up somewhere. Right. So
yeah, I'm a strong
what I mean?
believer in when I'm publishing, knowing that the level I publish at, I'm a strong believer in making my stuff as kit bashing friendly as possible.
Yeah.
Now, you still got to pay attention to the layout and the presentation, like I did with the basic rule, to make sure it's usable in of itself. But I also pepper my solution to the issue is I pepper my writing with Rob's notes, as you've seen, Joe,
Mm-hmm.
Explaining what I did, why I did certain things, so people can decide how to yank out the section they like
Mhm.
and understand. Oh, okay, Rob did it that way. I can see
I'll
now. I
steal
can.
that. I'll steal that from my thief. From Rob's burglar rule that they can do this. That sounds good for my thief class in my game. I'll steal it. Yeah, that. Yeah,
Right.
that. Yeah, exactly. Did I hear something? Somebody's mentioned MCDM. That's that whatever the hell Matt Colville guy.
Right.
I didn't back his thing because he's too much of a fucking weirdo. But from did I hear like shit about that? And this is not just stuff I heard that there's no game yet. And he took the money, but it wasn't written or even written. A lot of it wasn't out there, and he's still developing as he goes. Is that what? Did you hear
I
anything,
don't. I
Eric, or
don't.
you're
I
out of
don't.
the loop on
I've
that?
heard so little about it.
Yeah,
It's possible. I don't know.
I know he got a big Kickstarter funded, and then it's like there's nothing out yet. And I heard that he's still writing it. I guess I was kind of surprised that, and I could be wrong, but I guess from what I heard, I was like, wow, he hasn't really didn't. A lot of people write their thing and then put it out there when it's pretty much 98% done, right? It sounds like it wasn't 98% done when you put it out there. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So
I think anybody who doesn't do everything, that doesn't have everything done that they can possibly afford to get done
yeah,
before they launch a Kickstarter, there's a word for that, a technical term. I'm trying to come to mind. Oh yes, idiot.
idiot. Yeah.
All right. So according to Mr. Gunn, they took in 4.5 million. Did not
Yeah.
have a completed game.
They don't have a completed game with 4.5 million. You could have hired half a country in to do that with 4.5 million. Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I was real surprised. I guess at the lack of progress when they
And
launched.
worse, the type of RPG he's running,
Yeah,
he has to do a
cinematic.
lot of play testing because it's all
Mhm.
about fine tuning the battles, and it's
Mhm.
very much what did 4E call it? Battle encounter oriented.
Yeah,
So I'm not disparaging that style. People find it fun. Heck, I'm an old war gamer. I find it fun from time to time.
yeah.
But if you're going to do it well and do it right, you got to put the time in it. And if you
Ahead of time.
have it, yeah. And if you don't put the time ahead of time, it's going to drag out fulfillment.
Yeah. I agree. And I don't know when it's going to come out. It's just I don't know. We'll see what happens. But again, I don't care. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me in any way. I'm never going to play Matt Colville's style of game. I'm never going to play Matt Mercer's Daggerheart bullshit game. Matt Colville seems to be wanting a cinematic Errol Flynn style from what I heard in various videos. And Matt Mercer seems to, I don't even understand his game. I heard some people reviewing it. And it's like, is that D&D at all? No, it's not. Right. So maybe that's what he wants. He doesn't want D&D, right? He wants his
Well, you know what the answer is, Joe?
What?
To follow Gary Gygax's 8 DMG to the letter, 1-to-1 time, and the whole. Business.
Oh, is that the Bro SR key? What is the fucking Bro SR? I knew you guys were talking about earlier.
Well, I wasn't. I wasn't.
Somebody was talking Bro SR. I don't know what it is.
It was Greg.
Greg brought it up. He asked what it was. Of course,
I don't know what it is.
Okay, could you tell us? Because I don't know what Bro SR is.
Must I? Okay.
Yes.
Just Rob, briefly, Rob. I know this is watch this briefly. Give me the elevator speech, a 2-minute elevator speech.
Take the AD&D 1E DMG guy and then follow it rules as written.
That's impossible. It made no sense. Rules as written. You couldn't.
Well, okay. I believe the gentleman's name who first started doing this was Jeffro Jefferson. Let me look it up.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who.
Okay. Anyway, I would say the more accurate term is run the AD&D 1M DMG as written, as interpreted by Jeffro Jefferson.
Oh, so it's Gygaxian interpretation. It's sort of like, okay, I get it.
It's kind of
no. No, it's not the Gygaxian interpretation. I know the Gygaxian guys, and they're not Bro SSR.
It's interpreted by him. That's what I'm saying. It's Yeah. The MCDM is going to be a big wet fart, just like Daggerheart and Candela Obscura. But yeah, they should not have introduced a fucking Call of Cthulhu, fucking game before they did Daggerheart. Builds their audience. Their audience does not want innovation. MCDM will be out in 2020, or AL will write it first. No
Well,
one knows.
I will say that I did order his book, so I'll be able to speak more intelligently about it next show.
All right. I want Dagger to do super well so that all the theater
I
kids
bought it
and
for $3, so
go to it
Okay.
if 60 flops. Amen. Yeah, maybe sell if somebody has a clue with D&D. I agree. Colville's a bunch of simps. Yeah, it seems like it. The big YouTube guys seem to have a bunch of simps usually, you know. Giga Guy Gaxians. That's an interesting thing. Yeah, I agree.
well, I don't know. You know, we disparage guys like Colville, but on the other hand, he has the numbers he does, and at some point, he's doing something right. Maybe it's not our cup of tea.
Not at all.
But you know,
Yeah.
more if it floats their boats, more power to them. But
Mm.
what I disparage is hyperbole in marketing, saying we have the best way or it's the true way. It's like fuck that shit.
All right, so the Bro SR.
Jeffro Johnson, that's his name. Go ahead.
Okay.
Whatever.
So Bro SR is basically using things like weapon speed,
God.
which I read articles in Dragon magazine about weapon speed, and it still didn't make any fucking sense.
I didn't understand what it was until about 10 years ago, honestly. You know, it's just a weird concept. The
Oh
whole-
no. There's no way you could have understood it 10 years ago because there are two interpretations.
Well,
of weapons.
let me put it this way: weapon speed was more easier. The thing I didn't get was the armor, the weapon versus armor table. I'll put it that. Remember that table, the weapon
Yeah.
versus type of armor. I was like,
Well,
what the hell are you talking?
My problem with that is it didn't apply to monsters because you didn't know what their AC was.
But I know.
They're not wearing chainmail, right? What's
Yeah.
an ogre wearing? Well,
Yeah.
That's because it came from okay, so it was derived from chainmail's man-to-man table, which was indexed by weapon and armor. And you rolled two dice. If you get the number or higher, you killed the figure.
right.
That's where it comes from. And then Gygax translated that pretty much one for one. He took the target number 7, and if it was above that,
Mhm.
he gave you a bonus, and if below that, or if it above that, he gave you a minus, and below that, he gave you a modify
Mhm.
a plus, and that was what used in OD&D. And then, of course, in AD&D, he had to completely change it because there are more armor classes now. But
Mhm.
yes, it's only intended to be used between human versus human or demi-human versus demi-human opponents wearing actual armor.
Right. Which is
I-
why I just said, all right, I can throw this away, or it only applies to PCs because often monsters use weapons, but you don't know what armor the monsters are wearing, so you could use it one way against the
Yeah.
PCs.
That does
Yeah.
exactly. Does a monster like a beetle with a shell count as AC plate or AC scale or AC what? I mean, it's a shell, right? Who knows? We don't know.
You're right. You don't know.
Yeah,
And
I'm looking
and
back, and Mr. Gunn says, think of the Broasar as AD&D foundation lists, aka they are raw. So I guess what you're saying then, Mr. Gunn, is that the Broasar are the Jehovah's Witnesses of the OSR.
right.
Is that pretty much it?
Just keep in mind that in addition to the Jehovah's Witness, there are other far out Christian sects out there
Yeah.
too, or AD&D sects, I should call them. And
What else?
Yeah.
What are the other ones? What are they called?
I don't think they got
I
labeled.
don't want to get into the politics of knights and knaves. If you want to go find out the different variations, go to there. But basically, there's a group of people who hold Gary Gygax in high regard, not in the
Yeah.
same way as the Bro OSR. And the big difference is they will admit, okay, on this issue, Gary Gygax, you got one or two or three ways to interpret this. Here are the ways that have found
Yeah.
to have worked. You know, for like example, initiative.
Mm.
Gygax did not write that well,
No.
so when you read through it, there are really two ways that you can come up from. One of them,
More than two, Rob. I saw somebody actually, some lunatic in the OSR in the early days, put together a flow chart using the written word of Gary as to the AD&D initiative system.
Attic. It's called Attic.
It looked like a conspiracy theory table. It was just like, go here with that, go here with that. Nobody, it made no sense. If you look at it, rules as written, it was contradictory and confusing as all hell.
The
And
two
so
methods
nobody
are
can.
the Attic method, which is what you're talking, and it's nicknamed the Quantum Initiative System. And the other way is what they call the Othric method, because it was written up in full by the guys who,
Mm.
by Marshall and the other guys who help with Othric. It's called the segment initiation. And both are consistent with the actual words that Gygax wrote. The problem being that the words that Gygax wrote can be read of one of two ways. So
Or more, depending on, yeah. Shadow Dark was perfected over many years and was shipped within a year. I agree. MCDM will not ship in 2025. You're likely right, Mr.
yeah,
Gunn.
Shadowguard did it right.
Yeah, they perfected it, they built it, they played it, and they had the benefit of, number one, a great salesperson, and number two, perfect timing. Right? I mean, they dropped it right in the middle of the fucking OGL debacle, where everybody's like, "Fuck you, we're looking for something else," and so boom, that was perfect. That was perfect.
Yeah,
But
Majestic Fantasy. When I do the full version after the Into the Majestic Fantasy realm, I've been running that since 2008.
Yep. That's how you do it. You perfect the system on your own. Everybody's in the rush to publish. It's like publish or perish, right? I mean, it's like that old college thing where you got to, in order to keep your professorship or whatever, publish or perish. But yeah, you can't do that with RPGs, because people just will realize that you're putting out shit. And once you lose your reputation in this tiny little corner of a niche, what else do you have left? Once somebody thinks that you put out shit, they're not going to buy anything from you. Look what Acts 2 did. Their first edition came out about 10 years ago. The second edition, just now, right? I mean, that's how to do it right. You perfect it, you work on it, you bust your ass, and you put something out that's good and people like.
Zatrin says there are places where Shadow Dark isn't considered OSR, which is insane to me. But listen,
it straddles it.
It straddles it, just like DCC straddles it.
Yes.
Different chassis. DCC straddles it from the third edition chassis.
Yes, and the Gonzo.
Shadow Dark does the 5th edition chassis.
Yep.
But they both try to evoke an old school feel to the game.
Yeah, when you play those games, you may have to learn a different system, but it doesn't feel alien to you. It just feels a different way to handle what we all know and like.
It's close enough. I mean, to put it this way, back in the Flail Snails days, where you could take a character and drop in on many DMs games, a couple dozen games, whenever they were running it with the same character, no matter what system you created under. I've had many games where I had brought my AD&D character into a DCC game, and with slight modifications by the DM, it ran just fine, and vice versa. DCC dropped it in. If Shadow Dark was around back in the Flail Snails days, on the Google Plus days, we would have easily been able to adapt any Shadow Dark character into any Flail Snails game without a problem. There would have been absolutely no problem. So yeah, Shadow Dark, in that sense, to me, it's OSR. 5e, much more difficult to drop anything. You have to strip down all the fucking abilities off the 5e character and basically cut them down to a fucking AD&D or BX level character, right? You're hacking off everything that makes them 5e. Whereas Shadow Dark, LOTFP, DCC, Osric, all the other games that were going on back then, you didn't have to chop off limbs of the game that they came from in order to make them fit in, because if you want to reduce the power. You might have to reduce, like, oh, you can't bring that laser gun into my world, right, that you picked up in so-and-so's game, but you're not chopping off limbs from the base classes and the abilities of the base classes from a system. Whereas 5e, you're hacking off so much of a character that it's not even a 5e character anymore. You're not really integrating them in. It's not a seamless mesh.
No, you just take their race, class, and level and just remake them in the system of choice.
That's it. That's all you would have to do. But you have to take away so much from a 5e character that you might as well roll up a new fucking BX character. You know what I mean?
Well, you don't have to roll up a new one. You just have to just say, okay, he's a fighter, 5th level. Okay, let's take Othric.
That's a new character, Rob. If you're coming in with a 5e character, a 5th level 5e wizard or something like that, or a 5e, even better, a 5e rogue or a thief, right? And you drop that character into an OSR game, you're hacking off so much and changing so much. You might as well
Oh,
tell him.
hold
to roll
on,
up
hold
a
on.
5e
You're
thief.
missing my point. My point is you ignore all his ability. You just look at his class level and race and keep his stat scores the same and just fill it out whatever.
He's not. You guys are both arguing the same thing. What
Yeah.
Joe was saying is, if you're taking that much off, you might as well just roll up a new character because all
Yes.
that's left is the stats.
Yes, exactly.
There.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
Had
people are
fun.
funny, so they might consider the stat, the level, and the race, the character. Okay, I have different abilities, but that's fine. I'll give them I'll just write up the abilities as it is in Osric or Swords and Wizardry, and let's get on with the game. You know,
That's what I said. They might as well roll up a new character. That's my point. Keep the stats, roll a new guy, and you're good to go.
Right,
Whereas
right.
the other characters, we didn't have to do that. Bringing in a DCC or bringing in a little TFP or whatever character, we didn't have to strip them down that hard. You know what I mean? So yeah, 5e is too hard to mix in like that. You know. What? I made a meme comparing 5e Xanathar versus the 10-eyed Oracle. It's the best visual representation of the difference between Shadowdark and 5e. Folks who gatekeep won't read Shadow Grimlore. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude. It sounds deep though. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm a little confused too.
Yeah. If you could explain it or put out the meme or
I
something.
don't know.
Grimlore.
The Shadowdark is part of the OSR world, which means it's almost all but impossible to gatekeep unless
Nah.
Drive Through or Wizards get the bug up their butt.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I mean, it's Shadowdark is fun. I it's a fun beer and pretzels game to me. I don't know that you're gonna run a long campaign with it, but to me, it's a good game for a short campaign, 5 or 6 games or whatever. It's a pretty good game for that.
Gotta say, that's one of the strengths of the OSR. I mean, I had somebody on a forum complain about gatekeeping, and said, and my reply to him was simple: How can you gatekeep in the OSR? Sure, you can be a jerk. We got a lot of jerks in the OSR, but Joe, 2,000 copper pieces and Breaking James of Grenardia.
It was his own fucking fault for putting up a shit product.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Yeah, it was a shit product anyway.
Okay. But anyway, so, we have so many places that we can publish now. We got Kickstarter, we got Drive Through. I mean, it's all and it's so, the barriers are so low for if somebody really wants to publish something, they just not need to spend the time. And as a result, it's virtually impossible to gatekeep anything in the OSR, whether you're a good guy or a jerk or making something different or something that everybody else has already done. It just all goes in the pot and it's out there for people to find.
Matthew Millman. What?
Hold on.
You know about this, Eric? Some drama going on?
I'm going to look up that in a second, but hold on. I refuse to be forced to play only white folklore and legends because of morons who think fantasy games can only be in European knockoff lands. Well, there's one issue with that. Nobody that you're currently seeing speak on the screen can write in anything that has to do with Asian lands or African lands or South America
it's true.
or Caribbean, because we would be appropriating. So you'd have to get somebody from those lands to write that these days. Just saying. Matthew Mellman. What ended up happening with Wood Tower's booth at Gary Con? Don never made it to the con. Don had severe health issues, was hospitalized for a couple of days.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he had.
I'm sorry to hear that, Don.
Yeah, he mentioned it. Basically, he has an illness that isn't cancer but requires cancer drugs.
Gotcha.
Well, he had something that happened to me when I was on chemo. My white blood cell count dipped.
Yeah.
And he had to get hospitalized for that. So he's
all
home.
Right. Don't worry about filling out your survey. I'll cover you when you're feeling better.
I already yelled at him. Don't worry about it.
No, I feel guilty though.
It's on me.
Rob. That's just mean, Rob.
Yeah. Listen, Shadowdark is certainly OSR, and listen, Kelsey, as we would call it on my job, her rabbi, James Mishler. James is as old school as you are going to get.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that introduced her to RPGs.
Yep.
He was
her godfather, basically, in the RPG.
Godfather.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, if that's your influence, your games are going to be old school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No doubt.
I've talked with and worked with James over the years, and yeah, he's a good guy.
Yes. I
Tenkar is correct. His knowledge of party precepts and nomenclature are great. He gets it. Chairman Mao. Are you calling Eric a communist? I don't understand that at all,
No,
dude.
the 40% and non-comments are great. He gets it. Chairman Mao, in front of the people. I'm just talking about how the control. Because I've seen this on. I've seen the arguments on Facebook that no, you can't write that. You can't write something about that culture because you need to be from that culture. And God forbid you write about that culture. Well, you need somebody to make sure from that culture to go over your work. By the way, you got to pay these people good money to go over your work to make sure it's not cultural appropriation. It's culturally appropriate. It's authentic. So the only one that can talk about folklore of a culture really is those from that culture. If you want to avoid stepping in a pile of poop, that is the way of the modern world of gaming.
Dude,
so,
that's Al Sharpton level shit right there. You know what I mean? Remember he did back in the day.
Reverend Al, he's your
That's
pal.
the same thing, man. Whatever semi barely racial incident happened, he'd pop his fucking head in there and start demanding all kinds of shit, and everybody's like, "Oh shit, we got to pay off Reverend Al, in order to get the blessing of the Reverend Al."
Did you ever hear the Reverend Al song?
No, what is that?
Oh, I'll have to send it to you.
All right.
Oh, it's a classic. It used to be played on the radio on certain like morning shows.
But that's what it is. That's all you're dealing with there. It's the same thing. This whole grift. It's just the Reverend Al Sharpton just expanded into the fucking corporate world. That's all it is. That's all it is.
Sorry, Graham. I didn't mean to. My table is part Native American. So what? We can only play our tribes under stupid thinking going on?
Oh, Mr. Gunn, I see. Okay, I get it.
You're being sarcastic.
Sarcastic. I missed it.
Sarcastic.
I missed it.
Yeah, I've never seen him be sarcastic.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I thought. Yes, they're right. They do. You can't do that voice because you can't. You're not appropriate. You're inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So God forbid you can do accents. You're done.
The RPG Pundit has ranted on the subjects before. I listen to his videos sometimes, but for the first 5 minutes or 10 minutes, he's pimping his own shit. So I'm like, if you just jump 7 minutes into a video, you generally jump to the point where he starts actually talking about the subject at hand.
Pundit rants about these subjects for his marketing. That's where he gets his business from.
Yeah.
The RPG site used to be a cool place to talk about role playing, and now it's 2/3 of it is a bunch of people whining about this, that.
Yeah.
Not just about cultural issues, about whine about how this game is not that, this game is not that. It doesn't matter.
I culled about 200 YouTube channels from my feed, my subscriptions recently, because I realized I was just like drama farmers. That's all I was subscribing to, like Nerdrotic and this and that, the quartering. And I was like, God, I'm so tired of this negative bullshit. I just want positive stuff. And I just got rid of all of these channels. My life is a much happier place right now. I'm just tired of it. Even the D&D shit. I don't subscribe to any drama farmers other than Pundit. I listen to once in a while if it's an interesting topic, but that's really it. I don't care that much. I just want I want a simpler, easier life. Less drama, less bullshit, man. It's easier. It's better.
So my whole view on the subject is that I think a lot of people are letting their fears get in the best of them, because at the end of the day, what it's about, you still got to do your homework.
Yeah.
A work is good if it's good. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Not because, if it's a bad depiction of Native American tribe, then it's a bad depiction of it. If you didn't do your homework, then shame on you. Not because you're being a racist, because you didn't do your homework. You didn't put out you didn't put out your best work. And if you did, and you just reply that this is where I got my sources, and just don't debate it. It's your creative decision. Let the work speak for itself beyond that.
Yeah. Zatrin, interesting point. I wish I had a deep knowledge of what the RPG sites and blogs are out there. I miss the G Plus days. Well, Zatrin, the blogs preceded G Plus because most of us were on Blogger. And then when G Plus had this technology merger with Blogger, Eric correctly predicted that the blogs of Blogger would just go away. People just go to G Plus. And then G Plus went away and the blogs were no longer operational because everybody was on G Plus. So the blogs went away.
Well, here's part of the problem. All right. And I saw this within 2 days and it's immediately switched back while you still could. Blogger and G Plus integrated the comment section.
Yeah. Yes.
And when they did that, I was like, oh, that's cool. But then what happened is I had people that weren't on G Plus that had been able to comment on Blogger, and I'm getting emails that they couldn't. They were being excluded.
Yeah.
Now that was a way for Google to force people onto G Plus.
Yeah.
But
destroyed Blogger.
When G Plus died, all these blogs that had this curated G Plus comment section lost their comments.
Yeah.
I never converted over, so you can go back to 2009.
I converted. I went back when I saw. Listen. I'm usually pretty good at seeing. I could see where it was going when I got a few people reaching out to me. I went, "Wow, this is going to be really dangerous if I stick with this." But people like Zach Smith liked it because it meant they could curate who could comment on their blog.
I mean, he can always get the last word.
You couldn't comment.
But my point to all that was that there are all the old bloggers, all of us from the old days of 10 or 15 years ago, we kind of stopped blogging when G Plus came. Most, right? I mean, Eric, do you still have a feed on the side of your Tankar's Tavern page with all the blogs?
I do. Yeah.
So go there, man.
Some of them don't update at all.
Yeah, they don't.
In the year, I know.
Forever. I closed mine down a million years ago. I mean, it's what?
No, my feed is still active, even though I'm not blogging.
Yeah, with Bat in the Attic, Gothridge Manor, there's a few others that are still constantly up there. But now, like, my content has changed. My opinions are what you're going to find on the YouTube channel. Yeah. But when it comes to product reviews, new releases, deals of the day, all that stuff, that's what you find on the blog side.
Yeah, but we used to YouTube about now. We used to type then,
basically. Yeah, essentially. So
half the blogs on my feed still get updated on a regular basis.
But I don't know that there's any. I'm so out of the blog scene that I don't know that there are any new blogs out there that are OSR.
Oh, you want to subscribe to Old School RPG Planet?
What is that? Is that a site or a blog?
I'm not going to explain the technical side. I know who made it, and he's very technically adept at website. But basically, a planet is one way of aggregating blog posts.
So it's all right. So it's basically like an old blog list that you used to have on the side of your page or whatever that you would. But now this guy put it all together for you.
Yeah, and it's easier for him to administer. It's more automatic. It's an advance on the old list. Now I gave Eric the link. So if people are in search of new OSR blogs, then subscribe to Old School RPG Planet.
Let's see. I see the member. So the member blogs on that site, Rob, are the ones he subscribes to.
Yeah, and somewhere somewhere you can subscribe your blog to that, and anytime you make once you're subscribed, anytime you make a blog post, it will appear automatically in the planet.
It's not even operational anymore. I it's still there. I just closed it. Somebody could read it anymore. I don't recognize these names.
Well, like talk about OSR stuff all the time.
But I'm saying the names of the blogs. I see What a Horrible Night to Have all I'm saying, Rob, is I'm looking back at these blog members, and I'm seeing what I recognize from back in the day. You know what I mean? Hack and Slash, I recognize. Greyhawk Musings is new to me. Old School Wizardry, obviously, I recognize. Trollish Delver-ish, recognize. What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse, of course. He's still doing it, huh?
Well, remember, Joe, I only offered this because you said, I don't even know who's in the blog scene anymore.
Yeah, no, this is good.
There you go.
This is good. And a lot of people, they're all new to me. Most, 90-some% of these are new to me. I haven't seen any of these names anymore.
And it doesn't happen so
The
frequently
Other Side
that you're
blog.
overwhelmed with posts.
Yeah. Hey, Gothridge Manor's there. I recognize that
Tim
name.
got on.
Yeah, yeah.
Him never.
Questing Beast, what the fuck is he doing there? Let's see. Swords of Super Science, I recognize.
Eric,
Delta's
you should put
D&D
your blog on
Hotspot,
that.
10-foot polemic. Tale of the Manticore. Hill Canton. See, he's still going, huh? Look at that. Look at that. This
Well,
is
click
cool.
on the link, see what his last post was.
January 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still going. Good for
Like
him.
me, probably post infrequently, but
Yeah, still alive though. Better than mine, man. Better than mine. But yeah, 90-some% of these I do not recognize their names. So it's cool. There's still a blog scene going on.
Yeah.
Necrotic Wizardry still going. Necrotic Gnome. Monsters and Manuals still going.
Grenardia is on there.
Razor. I don't doubt that. Yeah, he came a resurgence. Cave Girls game stuff. That just sounds interesting. The Grand Tapestry. That's Corinne, I believe. I played in her games. She was cool. Yeah, Rusk. She was really cool. Very creative person. 10-foot pole. Man, all these old people. I wish there was still a
Trollsmith is on there. Down.
Really?
Third from the,
nice.
Third from the bottom. And he
Nice.
has a February 19th, 2024 post.
Very cool. Greyhawk Grognard, of course, is there. Death from Behind. And I don't recognize the name, but I kind of like the idea. Let's see. Yeah, most of them I'm quickly scanning through, and there's like so many. One out of 20, I'm recognizing the names of this shit, man. But I'm glad there's a scene though, man. I'd never heard of this before, Rob. So this is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, upper left corner, please join. So if you want to get back to blogging, Joe, that's how you hook up your blog.
Leicester's Ramble. You know who that is, right? That's Vance. Laley Icester.
Alex Schroeder. So yeah, he's the guy responsible for that.
Hey, Bat in the Attic. I heard of that before. Simulacrum.
Yeah, I got to get a blog post up there.
Chicago Wiz is still blogging? What?
I think he's posts more than
January 28th. Damn, he's still going, huh?
Yeah, he's more into mini games, miniature war games. So
all right.
So Don got the message. He will do it.
Tell him to get better.
There's a blog called Hanging Out in the City State. Rob, are you jealous?
No.
Grimlore, I've watched a few of the Dungeon Delver streams, but we've never been on.
He has a restricted. Oh man, he only invites readers.
Who's that?
Hanging Out in the City State.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Doesn't look like you've been invited to read this blog.
Damn. Oh well.
St. Cuthbert. I don't believe I will be at Con on the Cob. Won't be at Game Hall either. I will fly now to one convention a year, and that's North Texas. Everything else has to be drivable, and that's at the limit of my driving range. So
Actually, GaryCon is just within my driving range.
Really? Okay.
But it's so big now these days. I rather save the money up and go to.
Well, you'd have when the rooms go live, you got to be there within like 2 minutes, and otherwise you're like staying downtown. And if that's within the first 2 hours, and then if you're after the first 2 hours, you're staying like the next town. So it sells out real quickly. So.
TikTokers, do you guys do TikTok for RPG anything? I don't do TikTok for anything.
I occasionally I'll do a YouTube short.
Do you really? Yeah.
But no, I don't TikTok. I know TikTok. No TikTok for me.
Yeah, no, it's not a thing.
It's something that you and Tim and others were using to make short little commentary, and you did it a lot in your cars.
That was Anchor.
Anchor, okay.
Yeah, that was the original. That's when I remember.
But it was also video.
I don't remember video.
The only video, only video shorts that I've done. Well, actually, when Rach was going through cancer treatment, and I'm like, I'm gonna be in the car for next hour.
Yep.
Hold on, let me get the mount. There we go. No, let me see if I got a video in me. So, wow, dude, we're hitting the. Wow, we're about to ping the 2-hour mark.
No, not bad.
Not
Not
bad.
bad. No, with no Greg, no Tim.
Who is
Tim's
Dungeon
good.
Delver? Who is this Dungeon Delver?
He's got a video channel. He's pretty good, but
Am I missing?
I don't
think
watch.
I know it.
You might have stumbled across it. I don't watch a lot of.
I'm not. I
gaming
am
stuff.
subscribed. I guess I am subscribed to this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of gaming videos because I sit. I watch them with Rach, so I try to find videos that we'll both enjoy, which is usually newsy stuff or sometimes historical stuff or current events. I'll give her one like Grim Jim. She likes James Desborough because she goes, he's honest. He's out there. He's bearing his soul, even if I don't agree with what he's saying. He's honest with what he's saying. So I was like, all right, I'm glad.
The Joe SR. I kind of like that. I'm going to trademark that shit. I like that, man. Rob, do you have any idea what your character is going to be for my campaign on Tuesday? Your inglorious death that you suffered?
I'm trying to
class or anything?
When I play Argyle, I take risk all the time, and actually, I got to admit, this is the first time that it got me dead.
Yeah, that was.
My character, whether it's LARPing or a tabletop game, has gotten wrecked. But this is the first time I just took a chance.
Yeah, you kissed the wrong woman, Rob. You kissed the wrong woman. That was all it goes down to. Well,
I do question the fact that you put such an instant death monster, because if he would have lashed out for any reason,
but
there would have been somebody dead in the party.
Plenty of warning and heat. Yeah, no, I have no guilt and no regret.
Temptation. That's
What do you want to see me play, Joe?
I don't care, Rob. I'm just curious what you're gonna.
No. You've been around me enough to have opinions on the characters, and you met some of my usual stuff. Now, what role what would you think challenged me to play?
Something you never played before, Rob, because what I've seen is that you recycle your characters over and over again, campaign to campaign. You have a stable that you drop that character, the skin, into another game with a different rule set and blah, 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 right? And you have this common stable you drop into, but I like to see you play something you never played before, both personality and generally classes that you never played before.
Yeah, so pick something. You tell me what you want to see.
I think a druid could be interesting in this campaign right now.
Any particular kind of druid? Not like in terms of subclass or anything like.
Well, there are no subclasses.
Like in personality or druid stereotypes.
It doesn't matter to me, honestly. The class, the personality, the stereotype, blah blah blah. But a druid comes with baggage in my campaign, as you know. And somebody asked a question up before Grimlore. I don't stream the games because I would be canceled so fucking fast, dude.
Yeah. Let me explain to you real quickly. I'll explain to you, Lucy. We have actually streamed 3 games on this channel.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Only 3. I think
we
they
had
were all
to keep
Shadow
our tongues.
Dark, right? I think they were all
Yes,
Shadow
I believe they were. All
right. We have streamed. We had a great time.
Yeah.
We game every other week. We don't stream it. Now, why is that? Because we are your typical gaming group.
50-something-year-old
see
man.
A little bit of it here, right? We'll be busting each other's balls. We're busting on Rob. They're busting on me. We'll bust on Joe. If Matt was here ever again, we'd be busting on Matt. But the ball busting, reaches levels that we would likely, even sweet little Rob, would be canceled.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when we do this, it's like a twice a year thing, like every 6 months. Hey, let's do a live stream. It is because we've all gotten our ball busting out, and we're like, best behavior for the next 2.5 to 3 hours.
Yeah, we're all best behavior, no drinking, don't go crazy. Let's all none of us, We have
a great time, don't get me wrong. And our audience has a great time. Climbing that mountain doesn't miss it. He but we got to do it very, very judiciously. or else anybody who's not retired is going to have a really difficult time in life.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah,
retired. I don't care.
Yeah.
But the others,
Yeah. Yeah. What edition is my game? My 2E game has jumped from second edition to this group, and my brother and those guys are play testing the thing I'm trying to make and all that, but I'm not putting too much effort into it. But that's the goal, is that they're
He
doing
claims it's doing D2E, but
Yeah,
I respectfully disagree when
slightly
it has
house
this
rules.
is how
It's
it
16
was
pages of house
told
rules.
to us. Okay,
It's ever
it
so
was
slightly
told to
house
us.
rules.
All right, the bill of sale said AD&D 2E
Uh-huh.
buy the book.
By the
This
book,
is the
ish.
quote from no.
Ish.
It was buy the book. That's how it was billed. Then we sit down for that first session 0, and Joe goes, "Hey, I've got some house rules." We're like, "Okay," and it's like 10 pages. And then by session 1, we're at like 18 pages. And now we are somewhere around 25, probably 26. I stopped reading.
You're 19 pages.
All right,
I don't want to hit 20, so I keep reducing the font so it doesn't look like it's 20.
But here's the, it's
All right. If he's going to weasel out of that one, just say word counts, Eric.
All right.
Okay.
Here. I'll put the link so y'all can see. This is a slightly older version. It's about a year old, but that is from my website that you can take a look at my house rules that are not so evil as they all allege, right? But they're pretty good. Second edition house
No, we're
rules.
not saying they're evil, Joe. There's just so many of them.
Oh, whiner.
Yes. It's like
whiners.
all right. Well, I kind of remember the. Oh no, it's not that. Oh, we're not using the real.
Joe,
rules.
just write a rule book.
That's
And
what I'm
then the
doing.
Well, I don't see the rule book. All I see is these 16, 19 pages.
Well, that's my brother's game is play testing that shit, Rob. That's all there. They're doing that. I didn't want to change you guys over to that because, this is easier for them to do that because they don't have as many
Well,
tests.
if you want me to make a druid or make a character, then give me the druid chapter of that book.
Well, the druid, you're doing 2E, Rob, plus the house rules. So the druids are easy enough for you to do in this. But what we'd have to do for a druid would be work on who you are, where you're from. There's a lot of baggage that goes into being a druid in my campaign. You know what I mean? So if you want to do that, I mean, that would be something interesting with a different person, a different personality. But there's a lot that goes into a druid. It's kind of like a paladin in most people's games. You know what I mean? I am not high maintenance climbing that mountain. I am not high maintenance at all. I'm a low maintenance mofo, bro. That's a lot of house rules. These are good house rules. I object to the lot of house rules thing. They're all good. It's like saying you have a lot of books. There's never such thing as too many books, too many dice, or too many house rules. There's never a fucking thing.
All I gotta say, when I got up to that number, I wrote a damn book. Okay.
I got a book coming.
I spared my players from remembering which is swords and wizardry and which is.
It's not like the Bible, Flint. It's more like Psalms. All right, it's not the whole Bible. It's just one book. The Book of Joe.
Well, I think on that note, we've got a pretty good spot to wrap this up.
The Book of Joe and the Joe SR.
The Book of Joe, available in 2030.
Yeah.
Before the MCDM can get his Kickstarter.
I just want to put it out before I die. That's all.
Also, guys, on the next show, which is not going to be in 2 weeks because this is a 5 Friday night or 5 Friday month, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now.
Right. So maybe 3 weeks from today. Yeah.
Right. I will be. That's my current target date to release How to Make a Fantasy Sandbox to the public.
Ooh.
You do it live with us, Rob? You're going to pop it out there in RPG Site live?
Yeah, I'll do it live at 8.
All right. All right. Sounds good.
For those of you who didn't get on the Kickstarter, I'm popping
Rob,
it live.
do a raffle, man. Give a couple away during the show.
I will. I think that's
raffle or give a discount code that's only good for like I don't know 10 discounts, and have put it up and go. Everybody, go buy now.
Yeah.
There you go,
Eric. How do you do that thing where you do the raffle? Because I'm sitting there with me and Tim on our Monday show. And we say whoever comments, you're entered into the raffle, and Tim rolls a D20. But I'm writing down names and I'm numbering.
That's how I did it. go to go into Google and go StreamYard giveaway tool.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool.
And then you share that page on the screen
Gotcha.
when you're doing a
Okay.
giveaway.
All right. That's good to know. I'm writing down names like an idiot on paper.
Oh,
Then
I
I'm
did
writing
that a couple
numbers
of
next
times.
to them.
Then I found the tool, and I was like,
Yeah.
remember the commercial? I should have had a V8.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Exactly.
that.
Yep.
Like, what? How stupid am I?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
Good to know.
I'm going to wrap the show up so I can. I won't be having Guinness, but I'll be having red wine. I better not spill it. I'll make my shirt look old.
Yeah. And I'm sobered up. Damn it.
I'm sorry, Joe, to hear that, but I will be getting. It's a Friday night. I can get liquored up. There you go.
Man.
That's what I want to be. I want to be Johnny.
That's
Keith.
it right there, baby.
Folks. Thank you so much. Very active crowd. You kept us going. You let us do a little bit of a hex crawling sandbox.
Mm.
It was awesome. And the fact that I have Joe as an assistant to get through the comments means
Yeah.
that, like, holy shit, you're like 35 minutes behind. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah. No, it works
now
out
we
well.
got two. Hey.
Yeah, I'm an admin on this channel.
I should
That
make
means-
I should make Bad Mike an admin, but then he'd probably
Screwed up. Yeah. At least I got some practice.
I'm not. I love him like the once a week work spouse that he is. Yeah, he'll screw it up. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Rach and I, Gamers House, we're gonna do something that's focused on diabetes. Jim Ward passed earlier this week. Jim Ward was fighting diabetes for years, left it untreated, except for like the last 10 years of his life.
Don't do that, folks.
Yeah, you got to be on top of it. We're going to be talking about it. It gave him heart complications. There's a lot of things that can happen. So, we're going to try to also keep it, the first half of the show will be updates. Second half of the show will be serious. But look forward to seeing many of you there or here. They're here. Same channel tomorrow night, Gamers House. 8
Same bat time, same
bat channel. Of course, we don't have Catwoman up right now, but if we did.
If we did.
I forgot to mention at the bottom of the screen, there's a link, 10cars-tavern.game/WFRP, not WKRP like we just saw with Joe's avatar, but WFRP. It's an affiliate link for Humble Bundle. Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, the latest edition, is the bundle. They have the whole Enemy Within campaign updated to the latest edition. As part of this, I own it in print because I'm insane. But it is the best campaign that I ran back in the 1E days of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Ran it for a whole summer before my party did a near total TPK. But it is...
Is it the new edition, Eric, or the older ones? I know they've had various iterations.
This is on their 4th edition.
Yeah.
First edition was very good. Second edition was awesome.
Yeah.
Third edition,
which one did Carl Sargent take part in? I know he had one or two.
I believe that was one.
Yeah,
and
I liked him. I liked his Greyhawk
second edition was published by Green Ronin under license from Black Industries?
I don't know.
But third edition was the one with the funky dice.
Okay.
And books that fell apart because they didn't have like a cardboard cover. They had like this glossy paper cover.
Yeah.
Skip third edition.
Okay.
Fourth edition, I have the rules. I've never run them, and until you run them, you don't see the problems with it. I think Mr. Gunn or somebody was talking about some of the issues with the rules. Oh no, it wasn't Mr. Gunn. It was somebody else. But if you just need inspiration for an amazing campaign, The Enemy Within is probably top 2, top 3 ever campaigns. I mean, Orient Express is probably number 1 for Call of Cthulhu.
Call of Cthulhu, yeah.
But this is really, really up to D&D has nothing to compare to this.
That good, huh? I read through it. I, came across some random PDF somewhere on my hard drive, and I'm like, okay, whatever.
The Enemy Within, and this house has the extra campaign books, so more details, more side adventures, and all this other fun stuff for your PCs to go through. But heck, even for a buck you get the starter set and 2 adventures.
Yeah, all right.
And that's how you support the channel. Look, do any of we're not the pundit. We don't have like a series of our books that you just stare at as
Yeah.
we talk to you.
Yeah,
You know, we're not shilling like Japanese knives or Scottish lordships. We give you 2 hours of I don't
boredom,
know,
boredom,
entertainment.
basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
boredom. Yeah.
Wow, well, we're not bored. You're not. You're not bored.
We still got 26 people here. We said goodbye 10 minutes ago.
I know.
And we still got
look at
26
this.
people
We're like,
here, so we're
"Oh,
doing something right, man.
how do you keep them more entertained?
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
we've
St.
done it for the last
Cuthbert.
2 hours.
St. Cuthbert just sent me a message on my YouTube channel saying he found my channel. Yes, I do have a YouTube channel. Just type in
Good.
youtube.com/Joe the Lawyer. So yeah,
There
you'll
you go.
see it. There it
All right,
is.
folks.
Later, everybody.
Be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well.
Good
Dial
night.
in tomorrow, 8 p.m. with the live stream.
Same bat time, same
Same
bat
bat
channel.
channel. Live streams are always 8 o'clock. You got to be consistent.
Pretty much.
Yeah.